students, welcome to Ask Prep. Welcome to the next series that we are doing of one chapter in one video. I hope the previous one you understood well and all the concepts were clear and in the quick and the short videos. Now we are going to continue with the same series, and if in case do you need any assistance, otherwise please reach out to us through the comment section. We're going to start with lesson number 2 today, biological classification. Let's get started. So we have studied in the previous chapter that the overview of the classification of all the kingdoms. So we have studied that there are 5 kingdoms that are being classified. The organisms are being classified into these 5 kingdoms. So depending on that, we are going to study all the 5 kingdoms now. In this chapter, we'll be covering first 3 because they can be covered together. Rest of the 2 we'll be covering individually in the further upcoming chapters. So let's get started with this 5 kingdom classification. The first in this is Monera. Next is the Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So kingdom Monera are the ones with the Archaebacteria and Eubacteria and the type of bacteria which are seen here. Their basic characteristic, first of all, we are going to talk about the Archaebacteria. Their basic characteristics, they are prokaryotic. We have studied in the previous chapter also that these organisms, they were the most primitive ones which ever existed on the earth, right? So they were the prokaryotic. No membrane bound cell organelles are present here. The nucleus is not very well defined. Unique cell wall made up of peptidoglycan and a compound which is a the unique cell wall is found here. Eubacteria cell wall, they have unique lipids in their membranes, right? So they survive in the extreme conditions. Since they have to survive in the extreme conditions, that is why they have these specific unique kind of cell wall and the peptidoglycans which are present in their cell walls to prevent the damage to the organism from the extreme environment. So what kind of extreme environment are there? They are those areas where the other organisms cannot survive, right? So they also there are also methanogens in this. Many Archaebacteria are methanogens. Methanogens means they produce the methane gas as a byproduct of their metabolism, right? Temperature tolerance इनका बहुत ज़्यादा है, since we have studied that they are surviving in the extreme conditions. So extreme in the sense extreme cold to extreme hot, right? So they are found everywhere. That is why the temperature tolerance is too much. And they are thermophilic and psychrophilic. So thermophilic का मतलब thermo is a word comes from the temperature. Philic is a word comes from loving, right? So they are the temperature loving or the heat loving. And psychrophilic means extremely cold. So they can survive in both the extreme environments, icy cold areas and extreme hot, the volcanic regions. So they are found everywhere. Now the type of Archaebacteria, किस type के Archaebacteria हैं? We have just talked about the methanogens. That means why are they called methanogens? Because their byproduct that they release as a metabolism byproduct is the methane, right? They are found in anaerobic environment. Anaerobic means जहाँ पर anaerobic respiration होती है without the presence of oxygen, like the marshy area, the swamps and the intestine of ruminants. Here we can see that it is present inside the other organisms. The ruminants we are talking about, like the cattle, the cows and so on, right? So they are present in outside as well as inside. So examples here are methanobacteria. Halophiles का मतलब है salt loving Archaebacteria. They are found in extremely salty environment. अब कौन सा extremely salty environment? Yes, you are right. It is the sea water, the ocean beds, right? So yeah, the salt lake and the salt ponds. For example, the Halobacteria is also one of the examples. Now talking about the thermophiles. Thermophiles are the organisms which can thrive in the extremely high temperature, hot springs and just say, right? they can survive there. So they are Thermus aquaticus का मतलब the thermus and the aquaticus related, aqua is related to the water. So that means these are the organisms that are surviving in the extremely hot environment, hot and humid environment, watery environment, right? Acidophiles. Acidophiles as a term comes from the acids. Yes, you're right. So they thrive in the extremely acidic environment, right? Hot acidic springs होती हैं जैसे, वहां पर ये सर्वाइव करते हैं. सो वी कैन सी द वेराइटी ऑफ द चेंजेस वेयर ऑल दे कैन, वेराइटी ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट वेयर दे कैन सर्वाइव. वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट द मिथेनोजेंस, दैट मीन्स the marshy areas which where they are present. We have also talked about the halophiles, मतलब salty areas. Thermophiles मतलब कि extremely high temperature. Acidophiles मतलब कि acidic environment. So whatever possible way we can think about, whatever possible environment we can think about, they survive there, right? So next we come to their importance. अब इनकी क्या importance है? So they are essential for process like methane production in the carbon cycle. हमने carbon cycle पढ़ा हुआ है. अब उसमें methane production is very important. अब ये methane आता कहाँ से? All thanks to these the archaebacteria, the methanogens categorically, which help in the production of this methane in the environment. They are used in the biotechnology application. अब methane तो biotechnology में भी use होता है, right? This helps in the industrial processes also. Contribute to understand the origin of life as they resemble some of the earliest life forms on Earth. So जब Earth was taking its shape, initially, जब यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं था, तब these bacteria, they were surviving at that time also, right? So these are responsible for the presence of oxygen. जब इन्होंने, when they undergo photosynthesis and they release oxygen, so that also contributed to the presence of oxygen in the environment. So they are one of the earliest life forms that ever exist on the Earth, right? Coming on to the eubacteria now. Again, the characteristic, they are prokaryotic. No membrane-bound cell organelle is present here. Peptidoglycan is the cell wall that contains in the cell wall. Peptidoglycan, a polymer that provides this structural support, right? So one very important thing is we are talking about a very microscopic organisms, right? So in the previous archaebacteria also we have studied that they have the special characteristic in their cell walls, so जिसकी वजह से they could easily survive in the extreme conditions. Here also, since they also have to survive in the extreme conditions, that is why there are certain modifications which are there in the cell wall, ठीक है, that help them to survive. ऐसे extreme environment में उनको survive करने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ modification चाहिए होती हैं, with the help of which they can survive, right? Metabolic diversity can be autotrophic, produce their own food, or heterotrophic, feeding on others, right? ऑटोट्रॉफिक हमें पता है जहां पे भी सनलाइट पहुंच रही है, जहां पे भी अगर if they are present in those areas where sunlight easily can reach, then they undergo photosynthesis and the mode of nutrition is autotrophic. But we know that these kind of bacteria are present in the extreme area, in the seabeds also, जहां पर sunlight नहीं पहुंच पाती, so they cannot undergo photosynthesis. Then they switch to the heterotrophic mode of nutrition and they feed on others for their survival. Movement, many possess flagella for their mobility. Flagella हमें पता है, it's a hair-like structure which is present on their body, which help in the locomotion, movement from one place to another. ये किनको जरूरत है ज़्यादा? जो we can relate it with the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Suppose the food of this bacteria is lying somewhere over here, but the bacteria is here. So with the mobility of this flagella, it can reach up to the food and then it can carry on. It can consume the food easily, right? Reproduction, typical reproduction is asexual to the binary fission. Binary fission हमें पता है, fission means splitting up. Binary means two. So one organism split up into two and thus multiply in that manner, right? Initially the cytoplasm separate होता है, then the nuclear genetic material वो separate होके then it splits into two organism which is called as the binary fission. Now about the types of eubacteria. First of all we are going to talk about cyanobacteria, blue green algae भी जिसे बोलते हैं, photosynthetic bacteria that can perform photosynthesis like plants, right? So as we discussed earlier also, these are the ones which are responsible for the production of oxygen on the earth in the earlier days of the formation of the earth. So important for oxygen production and contribution to the nitrogen fixation. इसकी examples हैं Anabaena and Nostoc. Pathogenic bacteria. Some eubacteria are pathogenic, causing disease. Pathogens जहाँ पर भी term आता है उसका मतलब है they are the disease causing bacteria. So जैसे कि a few examples are mentioned over here. Streptococcus pneumoniae. As we come to know that it is a Streptococcus pneumoniae. Pneumoniae is a word coming from pneumonia. Yes, that's right. So E. coli cause the food poisoning, stomach upset होता है तो generally E. coli is responsible. Mycobacteria tuberculosis is the TB, the disease tuberculosis. It is Mycobacterium tuberculosis is responsible for that, right? There are also the decomposers. अब decomposer bacteria जो हैं, they are very very helpful in the environment. They help in the cleaning up of our environment and breaking down of dead and decaying matter and recycling the nutrients in the environment, in the ecosystem. So Bacillus subtilis. So here are the few examples for this. Nitrogen fixing bacteria. Now nitrogen fixing bacteria rhizobium है, जैसे हमें पता है, we have studied it in the junior classes as well, that nitrogen fixing bacteria has plays a vital role, plays a vital role in fixing the free nitrogen to the assimilated nitrogen that can be consumed, that can be assimilated to the nitrogenous compounds that can be assimilated, right? So agar rhizobium bacteria does not play this role, then it would have been very very difficult for the cycling of the nitrogen in the environment. We know that a larger amount of our atmosphere contains of nitrogen, but it is all in such a form that it cannot be consumed by any of the organism, whether we talk about the plants, the animals and so on. But rhizobium bacteria are the one that fix the free nitrogen and convert it into the compound that can be assimilated by the plants and eventually by the other animals. So fixing up of the free nitrogen is one of the major roles that it plays. These nitrogen fixing bacteria, the rhizobium bacteria, they form a symbiotic relationship with the leguminous plants. Symbiosis क्या होता है? When there is a mutual benefit, right? So this bacteria stays in the root nodules of the legume plants, right? And in the symbiotic relationship. Now lactic acid bacteria, lactobacteria, lactobacillus जिसको बोलते हैं, that converts sugar into the lactic acid, which is very very beneficial in the production of yogurt and cheese. So largely in the food industry it is used, right? So lactobacillus conversion of this milk to the yogurt is done by this bacteria, right? Now this is about the Monera, their characteristic. We have studied the wide two varieties, Archaebacteria and Eubacteria about it. Next we are coming to the kingdom Protista. So kingdom Protista, what are their characteristics? So first of all, we know as we go further, as we go ahead, we are talking about a little advancement in the evolution, right? So here the characteristics of Protista are going to be a little advanced than those of Monera. In Monera, we talked about the prokaryotic type of organism. Mostly they were single cellular. Here we are talking about the eukaryotic organism. Here also mostly they are unicellular, but some of them, they start showing the multicellular characteristics as well, right? A few examples to be here are the amoeba, paramecium, slime molds, and so on. So mode of nutrition, again, it starts from the autotrophic mode of nutrition, depending on the favorable environment. If it is not, then they have the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Their importance. So basis of aquatic food chain, disease causing organism, and they are the basis of the aquatic food chain. Presently, they are present widely in the aquatic areas and they form the basis of the food chain. जब एक दूसरे के ऊपर dependent होते हो खाने के लिए, so they provide the basis for that, right? So they are the disease causing organism also, example the plasmodium, and they help in environment cleaning like the slime molds. ठीक है, जैसे हमारे पास कुछ some of the if you take an example, एक fruit है अगर घर में पड़ा रह गया है for some time, we see after some time उसके ऊपर mold आना शुरू हो जाता है. So that means they have started growing on that fruit, whatever is lying there on in your home, and start consuming it. So imagine this is lying out there in the forest or the wild somewhere. So that what happens is they start consuming it. So cleaning up of the environment, right? It is how this is related to that. Now the further subdivisions over here, we are going to talk about the protozoas. They are the animal-like characteristic. Achha, one important thing here is these protistas, they show characteristics of different type. They even show characteristics of certain animals. कुछ इनमें से animals जैसे लगते हैं, कुछ plants जैसे लगते हैं, और कुछ fungus जैसे लगते हैं, right? So they have all the different characteristics, right? And so slime molds जो हैं, they are like the fungus. Algae are more like the plants, and protozoas are the animal-like. They show animal-like characteristics. Now we know protozoa अगर animal-like है, so that means there will be heterotrophic mode of nutrition होगा, and they are motile. That means they can move from one place to another. When we come to algae, अगर वो plants है जैसे हैं, तो that means there is an autotrophic mode of nutrition and they are non-motile, right? Slime molds on the other hand, they exhibit both plant and animal-like characteristics, जैसे कि fungus है, right? Few examples over here. Protozoa का amoeba, paramecium है, plasmodium है. Algae की है spirogyra, diatoms, and so on. Slime molds like the bread molds. Bread molds experiment, I'm sure आप लोगों ने अपने classes में in class 6, 7th or 8th, you might have done in your school laboratories also, where you take a bread and just moisten it and put it in a box with the lid for for about a week, and when you open it you see a greenish color layer on that, right? I'm sure many of you have done it in your school labs. So this is the bread mold which starts growing on that. So that is one of the example of slime molds. Now about their importance. So it is one of the aquatic food chains because algae, sea algae, pond algae, it is the food for the many organisms that live in the aquatic areas, right? They also cause a lot of diseases, like the plasmodium causes the malaria. Environment cleanup, we have just talked about, like the slime molds and all, they help in the cleaning of the environment. So this was about the kingdom Protista. Moving on to kingdom fungi. Fungi again is the multicellular. Here we will see the changes over the period of time, that Monera were unicellular. Protista show characteristics of mostly unicellular but eukaryotic, and a few of the organisms, they were multicellular also. Here the advancement is seen, that means most of the organisms are multicellular here, except yeast, that is a unicellular, right? Eukaryotic है because evolution हो चुका है यहाँ तक. They have the true nucleus. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition है, absorb nutrition through the external digestion, right? We will talk about this. Cell wall made up of chitin, unlike plants. which have cellulose. Reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual via the spores, right? Now about their classification. Okay, Zygomycota, like the Rhizopus, okay, Ascomycetes, we also call it Ascomycetes or Ascomycota, right? Saccharomycetes, जिसकी एग्जाम्पल है Penicillium, जिसका एग्जाम्पल है Basidiomycetes, जैसे कि mushrooms, right? We know mushroom is a fungus, right? Chytridiomycota, that is a aquatic fungi. Example is Batrachochytium, causes which result in the disease in these organisms, right? In amphibians. A few famous examples are yeast. We all know about the yeast, which is used in baking and fermentation, right? Molds, जैसे कि bread mold and Penicillium, which is used. Penicillium is used in certain medicines also. Mushrooms, which we consume, that is edible fungus, right? So these are the various examples. Now, what is the importance? अब fungus की भी importance क्या है? Decomposer है ये, right? They help in breaking down of the dead and decaying matter. Medicinal use, penicillin is used in the production of a medicine. So that is widely used in the medical industries. Symbiotic relationship है जैसे कि lichens. Lichens क्या होते हैं अभी? Lichens is the symbiotic relationship between the fungus and the algae. Food production. Now, mushroom and yeast. Yeast is widely used in the food industries, in the formation of breads, in the formation of wines, and wherever the fermentation takes place, right? So yeast का widely use किया जाता है if the breads for the fermentation, the cakes and the pastries and the breads that we consume. So it is made up of yeast, right? Mushrooms also, we are very well aware the variety of mushrooms are available in the market that can be consumed, right? But a few are poisonous as well, right? So it is not that every variety of mushroom can be consumed. Certain are poisonous. And so the wild mushrooms, so in case if you have gone somewhere for a stroll in the forest or a jungle trail and you see some mushroom, and then you can't just pluck it and consume it, right? There are some wild mushrooms, those are poisonous as well. So not every mushrooms can be consumed, but a few can. So they are readily available in the market, right? So this is about the fungus. So we have talked about the Monera, the Protista, and the fungi. Now there is another variety which doesn't come in any of these categories, which has not got any space in any of the kingdoms, but it is still there and affecting us widely. Yes, we are talking about the viruses, right? So virus, we are very well aware that we have recently been hit by the coronavirus, and we know about these viruses, how deadly and dangerous they can be, right? So let's get to know a little more about these viruses. So first of all, they are the non-living entities, right? They do not have their own metabolism, right? There is no process that they multiply on their own unless they are outside a host's body, right? When they are outside a host body, then they are non-living. So viruses are also called as a connecting link between the living and non-living, right? So the moment they get inside a host's body, they start taking control. Their metabolism begins from the cells of the host. Host के cell से अपना metabolism चलाते हैं, and then they start multiplying inside that, and then they keep on spreading, as we have recently seen in the COVID era, right? COVID times where we had seen that it was spreading like anything. So if one member of the family had it, it was spreading to the entire, and so on, whomsoever it was in touch with, he or she was in touch with, right? So so it consists of a protein coating and has a genetic material, right? So since it is non-living outside the host body, so it does have a genetic material, but when it moves inside the host body, it starts multiplying and spreading it, right? It lacks the cellular structure. Obligated intracellular parasite can only reproduce inside a host cell, as we have just discussed, right? Okay, so the size also ranges from 20 nanometer to 300 nanometers, right? So मतलब इतने छोटे से इतना very very minute to 300 nanometer. Though 300 nanometer is also not very big, but the range is between this, right? So they are much smaller than the bacteria. Bacteria से भी बहुत छोटे होते हैं. That is why it is very difficult to control them, right? Now types of viruses, we know that DNA viruses जो होते हैं वो है herpes virus and adenovirus. RNA virus है influenza, HIV, COVID-19 and SARS virus. ठीक है? So इनकी importance, they cause a variety of diseases in human, animal and plants as well, right? Every type of organism they get affected by these viruses. They're used in gene therapy and vaccine development. So vaccines banane mein bhi these viruses are used, right? So vaccine ka kaam kya hota hai? To introduce the the lower amount of the same virus into the body, so that the body automatically generates the antibodies against this virus, and eventually when the body gets exposed to the particular kind of virus, so the body fights itself, right? So that is the criteria about the vaccines. So is jagahon mein ye use hote hain. There is another term that we need to talk about is the viroids. Viroids are further smaller than the viruses, right? Even viruses se bhi chote hain. That is why they are called viroids. They are circular RNA molecules. No protein coating is present. So how are these viroids different from that of viruses? We have studied about the virus that they do have a protein coating on that. These do not, right? So these cause plant diseases like these. The tuber disease, the potato spindle tuber disease is caused by these viroids. They lack protein coding genes and cannot reproduce on their own. So importances cause agricultural losses. So it helps in understanding the RNA based diseases, right? So now in the end, we will just conclude what we have done so far. We have talked about the kingdom Monera, which includes Archaebacteria and Eubacteria, that is crucial in the ecological and industrial processes. About the kingdom Protista. Protista help in the it is a diverse group including protozoa, algae and slime molds. Now kingdom Fungi is essentially decomposers and contribute to food production and medicines, right? Virus and viroids are generally the disease causing. They are the connecting links between the living and non-living, and they have the impactful effects on our lives because of the diseases that they cause and in the biotechnology. So this is all about this chapter, the lesson number 2 that we have finished now. So in case of any queries and your doubts, please reach out to us through the comment section and let us know more about it. We'll be back with the lesson number 3 and we'll be back with the rest of the chapters in this series. See you.